Welcome back, everybody, to the Miami Marlins franchise. It's part 2 of the Season 8 World Series. Both teams were able to take a game in Miami. We won the first 2-1 primarily because of a terrific day of pitching. Kyle Harrison had a good start, and Mason Miller closed the game for us. Game 2, for me, will be remembered as the O'Neill Cruz game, where he made a terrific catch on a Joe Brown fly ball, then drove in the first run for the Athletics, and came back later in the 10th inning to put them ahead 3-2. With our best hitters up in the bottom of the 10th, we had a great chance to answer, and Glenn Bryant's hit nearly tied this game for us, but Nolan Jones' throw from left field nailed Evan Carter at the plate and sealed that game for the Athletics. Now we move on to Game 3. The next 3 games are all played at the Athletics. And as we now know, seeing the jersey patches, they are in Las Vegas. So I wanted to make sure that when we played these road games, we played in a different stadium. Their future Las Vegas home is not in the game, but I found a stadium using the stadium creator, and the exposure here is not how it looks in game. But I think this Athletics Park on the Strip is a pretty good placeholder as we now move to play the road games of this series. It's already been an exciting World Series. What will come next? Who will take the 2-1 series lead? And will we see more offense? We've only seen 8 combined runs in the first 2 games, and the A's haven't even hit a home run yet. And there's some good power in this lineup. I want to see us play to our potential, though, as an offense. And I made sure, when I edited that game, I was really looking at just my swing, and then I did get some practice swings in before getting into the session here. Trying to get that fastball timing right again. I was late on pretty much everything in games 1 and 2. Ran into some luckier swings. But now it's time to get game 3 underway. Matt Manning gets the start for the A's. We will start Shane Baz. Doug Butcher leading off, and we've seen their pitchers consistently attacking the zone. This is to center field, jammed. They have done a really good job of locating their fastballs. We have seen so many pitches on the corners, so many on the edges. They haven't really had a bad outing. I'm not sure either team has. Missing high to Carter, who had some big swings for us in Game 2. He tied the game in the 8th inning on a triple. Now a fastball in there to even the count. And a grounder that's going to find its way into center field. A base hit. And one thing I know I have to do better is hit when runners are on. I feel like in a lot of these playoff runs I've had, second and third, nobody out, can't get a run. Bases loaded, nobody out, we get a sac fly, and it's the only run. So we need to put more runs on the board. This is an offense that can go off for a big day any game. Hank Holder's going to put one in the air. Fly to center. This one's tracked and run down on the track. O'Neill Cruz back at it. What a series he's had in center field. Gary Brady's going to hit behind him, and now I have adjusted the batting order. Joe Brown is going to hit 5th. He's just in great form. Norby goes down. Jenkins goes down to 9th, so Hoppy can hit 8th. Gary Brady in the air. This one's out to deep right, and he puts a charge behind it for a 2-run homer in the first. And Brady's great postseason continues. He's hit 4 deep in this run. And Joe Brown has had some good swings in games 1 and 2, so I need to make sure he's batting a little bit higher. He's flashed some power. He had our first World Series homer. That ball gets jammed, and the inside-out swing will wrap up the first. But we have two. Shane Baz has been very tough to do anything against so far in his 2 starts. Chad Field, first pitch, and Joe Brown slows the ball down and then flips over to Baz. O'Neill Cruz has already had a huge impact on this series. And had 2 of the biggest hits back in Game 2. Good fastball there from Baz. Takes the high fastball at 97. A 2-2 breaking ball, and that's jammed over to Holder. 2 gone. Glenn Bryan has 5 postseason homers. And he's swinging for the fences there. That ball smoked foul. Baz ahead in the count, and Bryan chases. We have seen them chase a lot of pitches, and we're going to try to keep that streak going. Connor Norby in the second. That says 117. Gone. 508 feet. That is unbelievable. I checked the elevation at this stadium before choosing it. It's around 2,000 feet above sea level. So it's not like a Coors Field situation or anything. 117? I knew I had to get my fastball timing down before this game. I know I'm not going to hit all of them, but when there's one up in the wheelhouse, and with Norby's hot streaks or hot zones, they're up and they're in. So I need to be able to pull the fastball. Just like that. 3-0. Yeah, that corner is still going to be a massive challenge, but 3-0 Miami already. And there's going to be 3 games now back to back to back. And that means bullpen management becomes very critical. I will say that Noble Meyer's probably going to be used as an extra reliever if we need. I don't see us using a 5-man rotation. Man, that is a great pitch. That's a spot they've hit many times in the series. Now a chopper for O'Hoppe, and it's McCann getting him. Ricky Bird leads off the second now for the A's as they try to answer back. I feel like everybody's thrown a really good changeup so far. That's been a big part of our early success. Went after one high. Peralta and Harrison both have really good changeups. Now the 1-2 from Baz, and Bird gulps that one foul. A little bit too far off, and now a 3-2 count. As we bury a slider, and he chases it for strike 3. Trying to target the fastballs off the plate a bit more often, depending on the hitter. And now Nolan Jones, whose arm is the reason that game did not get tied in the 10th. Good breaking ball away. 3-2 on Jones, and he goes after that breaking ball. This will be a 10-pitch at bat, and that wasn't close. A walk extends. Jacob Wilson with a soft fly to left, and Norby makes the catch. I did forget how many outs there were. I thought that was the end of the inning. Out in front, and it's the curveball for Baz. McCann, 2-2. Lets the changeup go. Now Jones will get the early start. Baz misses low, and he's walked 2 in the inning. And we can't let them have a chance at a big swing here. Kurtz can do a lot of damage. Here's a breaking ball, but no call. 96. Got to keep that one out of his wheelhouse. Again, just low. Letting all the soft stuff go. And a third walk is going to load the bases for an old friend in Otto Lopez. A chance to make a big moment happen against his former team. 200 hitting Otto Lopez. We need to find the zone now. Oh, come on, Boz. Get me over fastball there. Line to right. Jenkins measures, and we handle, giving up 3 walks in the second. Doug Butcher lines one to right center. That'll open the third with extras. He will end at second. We're hitting the fastball hard today. Manning has given up some big hits. And now Carter gets under one. And that is going to be a very fortunate out. Hank Holder only missed 2 games this year. We didn't deal with very many injuries. One of the most injury-free seasons of the entire series. And typically, simming introduces more injury risk than playing games. 3-1 on Holder, who walked twice late in game 2. They're not giving him a lot to swing at. And that continues. He draws another free pass. Brady hitting cleanup now. Already action, too, in this A's bullpen. We got him on the ropes. Here's a drive into center field. Down for a hit. Cruz will throw it home. It is offline, and a run scores. The Marlins have scored in all 3 innings. Gary Brady has 2 RBI hits. And we have a chance for more. Ooh, that was a good fastball. Manning might not make it much longer in this game. He struck him out on the breaking ball. Termarr Johnson with the big swing to right, and that is gone. 3-run homer, opening it up 7-0 Miami. Our first game in Las Vegas is a huge offensive success. The fastballs are getting crushed. My warm-up, by the way, I almost always choose the same player when I want to warm up. Byron Buxton. I had Byron Buxton facing Luke Weaver. Connor Norby, first pitch off of Ryan Cusick, and another deep drive, his second home run. Nearly 1,000 feet of home runs hit today by Connor Norby. It is 8-0, the best we've looked in a very long time. What an inning. Gary Brady got us the 4th run, but we wanted more. We double the score from there and hand it off to Shane Baz. So, bullpen management goes both ways. What do you do in a game where you're struggling, and what do you do in a game where you're in our position? I think that Vizcaíno could end up getting a lot of this one. Baz is going to make that play. Nicely done. I would consider, Noble Meyer eating up a lot of the game, too. We'll see how far Baz can go, but there will be some room for error. We'll probably let his pitch count run up at least a bit as Cruz lifts one. That's to right. And now he gets a taste of one hit well that won't produce anything. And weekly hit to Joe Brown. That's an easy 1-2-3 frame. The top of this order has been tremendous. That changeup goes right to Lopez. Now Carter with a fly, and that's hit well to right. But it's our first inning without adding a run. Got Berg way out in front. He's trying to hit a 7-run homer on that. It doesn't take long in these starts to get an idea of, how good is his stuff today. And I think Boz has really good stuff overall. He did walk 3 in the second, but I think he's nailed his spots in most at-bats. And that's going to get Berg a breaking ball. Nolan Jones on a line drive. It is the first hit for the Athletics. Taking off is Jones. O'Hoppe's throw is on the money, and he is thrown out. Brady lays out, knocks the ball down, and Jacob Wilson will beat out the throw. Big swing and miss on that changeup. And got him looking. What a fastball grazing the edge from Shane Baz. Hank Holder, center field. That wasn't hit that hard. They got him. Gary Brady. High drive right field, and he's done it again. His second home run. We have 2 players with multi-home run games already. Brady's 5th of the postseason. Another fastball up, little late on the swing, but plenty of power to the opposite field. He's going to get himself a big payday. Joe Brown left center. Fastball is looking really nice right now. Everything's looking like a beach ball. Can't hold back that time. We'll add 1 more in this inning. Popped up in a 3-1 count, and Joe Brown will have this one. One thing we haven't been able to do yet is get through the 5th with our starter. In the first 2 games, we had I made changes with 2 gone in the 5th each time. Good slider. I'm throwing more of those sliders in. It's a really fun pitch when it's located well. 2-2. He bent that one in. Strike 3 for Shane Baz. Now he's win eligible. Walker Jenkins, top of the 6th. And here we go to number 10. Another Marlins home run. This is just an unbelievable showing. Haven't had a game like this in a very long time. And we're going to see Robbie Snelling now, who was a starting pitcher prospect with us when the series started. Yeah, another good swing on an inside fastball. Let's go. I had to figure out why I was so late and why I couldn't just speed things up in that last episode. Even the ones that aren't going, anywhere special are still ending up better swings. Robbie Snelling versus Evan Carter.
1-2.
That's on the bottom edge, strike 3.
No strikes. Nope.
Boz falling behind Cruz. I wanted to keep him going here for a little bit, but we might have to pull him fairly soon. Good breaking ball, and Joe Brown's going to gobble it up. Brian to right. Jenkins is over, and then it's off his glove. Brian hustling to second. That's a Gold Glove outfielder who failed to make that catch. An E9. We will go to the bullpen then and bring out Kenny Norris. He will face Berg. I could try to get a little bit more out of Kenny in this outing. We'll see. That was a miss, but Berg, he's under it. And Jenkins will make sure to secure that one. Round ball to Termarr Johnson. And that'll wrap up the inning. Good job, Kenny. Smoked up the middle. Hank Holder has a hit off Robbie Snelling. What'll Gary Brady do this time? 3 for 3. A pair of home runs. He sends it to center. And it's caught by Cruz. Hank Holder now on second with 2 gone. Termarr Johnson is going to walk. Norby popped it up. That was a pretty good one to hit. Robbie Snelling shutting us down. Dropping in a curveball is Kenny Norris. Bottom 7, Norris versus McCann. That one is a little high. Now we're going to make a move here and go with Jorge Vizcaíno and see how much of this remainder he can take care of. And we get the weak ground ball. Holder flips. Johnson to first. An inning-ending double play. I've actually found Snelling to be pretty effective against us. Doug Butcher gets one to drive, and he will fly out to center field. That is hit the other way. An Otto Lopez single, bottom 8. Good curve from Vizcaíno. Ooh, he nailed the corner. And he struck him out on 3 pitches. Weakly grounded, and that'll take care of the 8th. Evan Carter lines one hard to right center on a high breaking ball. And he'll hold up at second. Trying to get a run off of the former Marlin prospect. That was a nice one to hit. We've gotten so many good fastballs today. Maybe I do every game, and it's just the first time I've been able to hit them in a while. Grounded. That's all, Hank. And we have hit 3 ground balls to the shortstop in a row. Inning over for us. Vizcaíno, meanwhile, in 10 pitches, thanks to a double play, he's picked up 5 outs. And we're going to leave him in bottom 9. What a game for the Marlins. Came out with the bats. Had to have that hot start. I've been looking for a game. I wasn't even asking for this. I would have been okay with like 7 runs, hitting a few home runs. Well, we got everything clicking offensively in this game. Grounded through the middle by Ricky Berg. Now a fly ball that's headed out to left. Norby finds the spot.
2 balls, 1 strike.
And a fly ball now at Jenkins. And the Marlins are now 1 out away. McCann to deep center. Back goes Carter. He leaps and comes up empty. Jenkins retrieving, and it's an RBI double as the A's will break up the shutout. But a ground ball is hit to Johnson, and that is game 3 in the books. What a win for Miami. Taking the series advantage, regaining home field as well. Which means if the A's have any chance of winning this World Series, they will have to get it done in Miami ultimately. That was tremendous. Matt Manning gives up 7 earned runs. And I lost count of the home runs after a little while. We hit 6 homers, 3 doubles. 9 of our 12 hits were extra bases. And we only had to use 3 pitchers. We've taken the lead in the series. Now can we really put the pressure on them by making it a 3-1 Marlins advantage? Let's hope I save something for game 4. The offense finally took off, had that big day, and now we reset. And it's game 4 against Ben Kudrna. 3.09 ERA. Here in the postseason, And Doug Butcher will lead the way again. He helped set the tone for us early in that game. A fresh start, and we're underway. It's a changeup. So we're going to see more of a low 90s fastball this time. Good change again. He opens with a pair of them. Fastball missing in. Here's a drive from Butcher now. Cruz tracking it down. He will make the catch. Down the middle and through the right side. I feel like Carter let him off the hook. We didn't have to do this a single time in Game 3, so let's get back familiar with our base running strategy as Hank Holder crushes another fastball. It's gone. Those last two pitches were basically right down the middle. Not letting that go. Third home run for Hank Holder. And another fast start for the Fish. 93 dead center. Gary Brady, I mean, he gets the same thing. That's 3 pitches in a row. That might as well be identical. I think you've got to throw us a lot of off speed. Go back to those change-ups. Didn't have to chase that. Strike 3. Same overall lineup. Joe Brown is next with 2 gone. A deep drive. Again, caught by O'Neill Cruz. For the second straight game, it's a 2-0 lead thanks to a big fly. Spencer Schwellenbach is the pitcher now from Miami. We've gotten 3, I think, good starts. Peralta and Harrison didn't make it through the 5th, but 4 2/3, limited runs allowed. You take that in the postseason. What was so big about Boz being able to go that far and us not having to play a close game is our top 3 relievers were not fully rested. And now, with the extra day off, they definitely will be. And Field strikes out looking. That's by O'Neill Cruz now. I think the A's are desperate for someone to start to carry the offense. You know, my storyline for them would be 3 games in. They've only scored 5 runs, no homers. Strike 3 on Cruz. But we now have more homers in this series than they have runs, and Schwellenbach wins the race to first. Termarr Johnson turning on it. A little early. And the changeup could definitely be a good weapon here. I'm way ahead of it. Trying to get the leadoff man, Termarr Johnson. He walks in. Connor Norby gets a changeup dead center, and he's on the board again with another homer. 3 in his last 2 games. Connor Norby heating up in the biggest games of the series. And where's that location again? Right down the middle. It's the same thing Matt Manning was running into. I'm actually hitting mistakes today. That's headed to left center. Logan O'Hoppe will split the gap, and there is still nobody out as we put O'Hoppe on second base. Ahead of Walker Jenkins. That one is way inside. They have got to find a way to keep them from going to the bullpen early in this game. Ben Kudrina in trouble again. All right, that's a late swing there. Okay, good fastball. I'm still going to have some late. I'm not going to be able to hit them all. And the edges are still going to be tough regardless. They just have to hit them. He ends up walking him, but did manage to throw better pitches, I felt there. It's the second walk. And now Evan Carter Here come the big bats of Carter and Holder. Carter rips one. That's headed to deep right, and we're going to pour on more runs. Carter to second. A run scores. Second and third for the Marlins. Another World Series rout in Game 4. And a pitching change is made. They're going back to Cusick, who was their first pitcher they brought out in Game 3. Hank Holder, 2 more in scoring position. That was a bad take. 96 on the heater. Cusick picks up the second out. Brady coming off the big game. And that was close. I thought I was getting one there. Got in front of one. That feels good, pulling the ball. And it's jammed the other way. It will fall in. A run scores. Wow. I assumed he'd get a good throw home. He was going to the cut. RBI single. We could have made it 7-0 there. Back-to-back early routes for the Marlins. I knew our offense could do this. Finally playing to that potential. Joe Brown will muscle this ball out to deep center field, sending Cruz back, and he'll make the catch. But it's 6-0. And their best hitters are just not doing much right now. I feel like there have been chances, like that's an elevated splitter. Nolan Jones. I mean, without his big throw, I mean, do they win Game 2? Great splitter, and Schwellenbach strikes him out looking. Big cut there from Jacob Wilson. This has got to be one of the worst situations to find an offense. You're having trouble producing runs, and early in games, you're already down by a ton. Bounced it to Tamar Johnson. What the heck just happened? Big cut there, and a good fastball from Spencer Schwellenbach. His 1-2 is swung on and missed. Inning over. Norby just a little ahead of it. Isn't it kind of poetic in a way how, like, the player I always try to get the swing right with in practice is Byron Buxton, who was one of the players who had some big hits late in that World Series against us for the Guardians last year. Thanks, Byron. So we got a man on now. O'Hoppe with Connor Norby aboard. Beautiful changeup, and Cusick gets O'Hoppe. Blew one by me that time. Yeah, it just comes down to, like, being able to read the ball out of a pitcher's hand, and my swing was just a tick late in games 1 and 2. Here's a nice drive now from Walker Jenkins. Another long run for O'Neal Cruz. He can't keep doing this. Strike 3 of Kurtz. That's how Schwellenbach opens the bottom of the third. Yeah, it's not always as easy as just like swing earlier, because you still have to be able to identify and time things and have, you know, good swing selection. You got to be able to read the ball as quickly as you can out of the pitcher's hand and make your decision faster. And I was able to get that cleaned up, I thought. And then I got into the games today, and I'm like, yeah, now I'm feeling really good. Like when a 94-mile-per-hour fastball is giving you problems, you don't feel very good playing the game. I mean, there were some 91s in that last episode with, like, Aaron Judge, where I was so upset I couldn't do more with. Gary Brady's going to make this catch. And he just takes a cutter for strike 3 after battling through a bunch of 2-strike pitches. Hey, you got away with one there. Evan Carter in foul territory. Hank Holder on the board again. That was a well-pitched at-bat for Ryan Cusick, but Holder wins the battle. Gary Brady rolling over a slider, and it's back-to-back zeros. O'Neal Cruz lines one through, and he's going to think about second base and get there. A leadoff double. Gotta stay focused. 6 runs is a nice lead, but it can be erased. We've seen it done in the 9th inning before. That ruined my day. Hit in front of the runner. He stays, and Holder fires a laser. I just want to know how Hank Holder would look throwing the football. He's taken off, trying to steal third, and Cruz, not the time for that. Hoppy gets him. Got him. Strike 3 on Berg. Joe Brown, first pitch of the 5th, and that ball's ripped. Another extra base hit for his great postseason run. Tamar Johnson, Silver Slugger Award winner, strikes again. And the A's go down 8-0. That's going to bounce through the right side. Now we can't miss. Line drive center field. It lands in front of Cruz. And it got him at first. I thought I had told Norby to go to third, and I was trying to send him back to second, and I was actually sending Hoppy to second base. This one's headed to right field. It's caught. Doug Butcher skied the left, and he couldn't catch it. Butcher's going to have an RBI hit. That looks like he should have come down with that easily. They didn't charge him with an error, and now it's 9-0. Oh, this is actually going to be nice because I faced Pardinho in the first 2 games, and I couldn't figure him out. Now I should have a good chance to see if I can today. Chopped by Carter, and they will end the inning there. Got him jammed, and how did he sneak that through? What a hit. Love the way Schwellenbach's pitching today. Jacob Wilson now lines one to center. Carter, what a grab. He tumbles and pulls it in. Split finger fastball, strike 3 on McCann. Oh, that one is actually a bad call. That almost never happens. Strike 3, 9 punch-outs, 5 scoreless for Spencer Schwellenbach. A line drive to left center. Otto Lopez gets an extra base hit off of Schwellenbach. And that ball gets smoked. It's field to right. And the A's are on the board. It's their first World Series home run. Chad Field, the rookie. And their 3rd consecutive hit. I think that'll bring in the bullpen then. And we'll turn it over now to George Soriano. And we'll see if the A's can make this any closer. And if we have to use more of our top relievers at all. That's going to be a fly ball. And we'll get the first out. That's back to Soriano. Gets the out to Holder. And an inning-ending double play. Nasty fastball from Soriano. He gets Jones. Aaron Judge is going to come off the bench here in Game 4 and hit for Walker Jenkins. I couldn't end up hitting Pardinho in this game either. But now Chris Murphy, the lefty's on. Oh, no. Too late. Strike 3. Now they hit Doug Butcher. Here's Evan Carter's line drive. And here goes Butcher. He wants third. He's got it. High fastball. Hank Holder strikes out. Brady in the air. It's to left, but easily caught. Base hit center field, bottom of the 8th. And we'll now turn to Brian Ariano with 6 outs to go in Game 4. Otto Lopez will dump this in right. Aaron Judge will have to pull him from the game. First and third for the A's. Chad Field hit that home run in his last trip. A 2-run homer. 2 more aboard. Now he gets jammed. Hank Holder will have it. O'Neal Cruz base hit right field, and the A's will make it 9-3. 1 gone. Bryan now dumped down the right field line. Morlando tracks it down. The A's will score again, and it's 9-4. Starting to build some momentum, and here is Ricky Berg, who's hit .281, has big-time power. And Berg grounds it up the middle and through. One will score, another behind him, and it's 9-6. The Athletics have made this a game. What an inning. And we're going to turn now to Robbie Parsons. We will be using some of our top relief options as the lead has shrunk. Still 1 down. Parsons hits that inside edge. And now Nolan Jones unloading! And it's suddenly a 1-run ball game. What has happened here in the 8th inning? We've used 3 different pitchers, and they've all gotten hammered. This game is not over. The A's offense has awoken at last. It is just a 1-run game. Holy cow. We need to get this inning over with. Jacob Wilson early on the slider. And he's down 1-2. Parsons got him on a fastball. Kyle McCann, 2 down, and a beautiful slider that time. It's a 2-strike count. Parsons induces weak contact, and Norby makes the catch. But we're going to go into the 9th, and things have gotten very interesting out of nowhere. Elvis Peguero is going to enter the game. We're going to have Mason Miller going. I mean, how many did they just score? 6 in the 8th. It can happen fast. Joe Brown, that's to right, and not good. Termarr Johnson. He hit a home run last time and tried to do it again. This is grounded. Good pitch. 2 down. Connor Norby, he connects again. Oppo, gone. There's some insurance. Another multi-home run game for Connor Norby. One of the secret superstars of this franchise. And that gives us 10 runs in back-to-back games. He only hits no-doubters, too, it seems like. Here's a base hit now up the middle from Logan O'Hoppe. And P.J. Morlando is going to hit now. Walker Jenkins is out of the game. Oh, that was, yep, too late. Is there room? Just enough for McCann. So a 2-run lead is taken bottom of the 9th. With their backs against the wall here, the A's have found some offense. They had scored 8 unanswered runs. I'm going to go with Mason Miller right now. 4 for 4 on save attempts, the 2032 reliever of the year. So for the A's, got to get a base runner and see where that takes you. That's a scary pitch. It's the heater at 103. The 0-2. Taken. We go off speed. Another take. The count is even. And fighting off the change. Twice in a row. A great at-bat to open this inning. Another 2-2. Miller got him! Strike 3! Otto Lopez has enjoyed a good game. He's 2 for 3. Miller at 102 again. Now he's a little out in front. 0-2. And a drive to left. Norby chasing into the gap. 2 gone. Chadfield got this all started with his 2-run homer. The rookie woke him up. 103 not called. And he has just done it again. Connecting on the Mason Miller fastball. Home run Chadfield, and it's a 1-run game in the 9th. We need 1 more out. O'Neal Cruz is the batter. He's 3 for 4 on the day. Missing outside. A slider, and he's fouling it off the first base coach. The 1-1 fastball, and he was late. It was 103. Miller needs 1 strike. And he gets a weak ground ball. It's Termarr Johnson. Good throw to first. The Marlins hold on in Game 4. And they take a 3-1 series advantage. Wow. This would have been one of the worst blown games of all time. And it turns out we needed every one of those runs. That was an insane game. Credit to the Athletics for their offense waking up, but it was just not enough. And we are 1 win from finally claiming a World Series title. That was unbelievable. Thank you, Connor Norby. I can't believe they scored 9. So that's, at least 1 charge to everybody who pitched. Ariano hit with the 4th spot. That was a bad outing. I was debating, too, using Bubic there against O'Neal Cruz. But we stick with Miller. He gets it done for us. So, our offense has played incredible now for 2 straight games. It's led us to these 2 wins. But the A's just got their offense going. Will that carry into Game 5? Because now they're facing elimination. And it's their last home game. It's going to be Noblemeyer pitching. Harrison, he's like 97%. But he will pitch in a Game 6 if necessary. Game 5. Noblemeyer takes on Casey Mize. All right, it's the next day. You know what that means. Just a little warm-up ahead of one of the biggest games in this franchise. This could be it right here. Game 5 of the World Series. And for only the second time ever, we're playing a game that could get us the ultimate goal in the franchise. We played Game 7 of the World Series last year, and of course came up short. But now, up 3-1 in the series, a chance to clinch on the road. Now, I think this is a fascinating game when you look at us getting the offense rolling now these last two. But the A's and their offense finally got going at the end of Game 4. And now they face our number 5 starter in Noblemeyer. So this is going to be very interesting to see how the A's handle, going down 3-1. Can we get off to a fast start now? They're pitching Casey Mize. We're holding Harrison if we go to a Game 6. And we're underway. Doug Butcher leads off, and we have, in Games 3 and 4, hit 2-run homers in the first. Hit the ground running. 3-2. Trying to set the tone early. How about this start? Butcher is battling, fouling off pitches. We're going to have a 10-pitch at-bat to open the game. Maybe more. And eventually draw the walk. Casey Mize in Game 1 went 4 innings, allowed 7 hits, including a home run, was charged with 2 earned. So, we've seen him already, and now a lot of him already in Game 5, already 12 pitches in. Doug Butcher on first. He is sent, but returns. Could not connect. It's strike 3. Really good fastball. That had to have been a late swing. Butcher sent again. Taken for a strike, and Butcher is safe. It's in the air to right field. And it's going to have a lot of carry, but not enough. Moving Butcher up to third. Gary Brady, one of our top postseason performers. Traded for him to be a difference maker, and that's what he's been. And Mize able to get ahead. Gotta watch out for a slider now. Just like that.
2 strikes.
Missed again, 3-2. And it's lifted. He got in front of it, and it is going to be caught in left. The A's will put a 0 up to start the game. But that offense started to get pretty scary late in Game 4. We held on. That was huge. Connor Norby's 9th inning home run, giving us a 2-run cushion there, going bottom 9, proved to be essential. Barely held on in what seemed to be an easy game we could cruise to victory. The A's got to score some runs, especially if our offense continues to play at this high level. Noblemeyer gets the start for us. A 2-2 count on field, and he threw the fastball right by him for strike 3. In this postseason run, Meyer had a rocky start against the Reds and then a better one against the Mets. So coming off 4 2/3 scoreless against New York, he gets Cruz. Bounced it. Brady is there. And retires Brian, a quick 1-2-3 inning. And I decided to keep Norby in the 5 spot, as he has 4 homers in his last 2 games, and he's going to start this one with a sharp single. We've also seen Termarr Johnson get hot in the last couple games. 2 homers and 5 RBIs over our last 2 victories in Vegas. The other way and speared at third. What a catch by Glenn Bryan. Joe Brown's back in the 7th spot. 2 hits in the last 2 games. They were both doubles. But I felt pretty good hitting with him here in the World Series. Casey Mize. Ooh, that's down the middle and fouled off. Lifted in center field. Cruz with the jog to track it down. And Logan O'Hoppe pulls one into left field. He's got extras. Norby on to third. We'll wave him. And he will score. The Marlins on the board first again. Chased one low with Walker Jenkins. He's not had the best postseason, so he's hitting 9th, and that's the inning. But we do get that first run. A lot of guys showed up late in Game 4 for the A's. Ricky Berg is going to get in front of one here and be another harmless ground out. Good inside fastball from Meyer, getting ahead of Jones, who did hit a late home run, his first homer of the postseason. Now past Joe Brown. He picks up a single. Runners taking off. O'Hoppe's throwing, and Jones, he's out. Tamar Johnson puts the tag down and just got him. What an addition to this team O'Hoppe has been. At full speed, I thought he had gotten in there under the tag. Just a piece of it there for Meyer. Full count, and got him out in front. Strike 3. Hit the other way by Butcher. It is uncatchable and will reach the fence. Another extra base hit for Miami. Carter softly toward right center. Cruz is there, and Butcher's going to look to tag, and he'll move up. And here's the star drafted the beginning of Season 2, Hank Holder. Strike 1. Popped up. Not expecting a fastball there, 0-2, but now Mize close to getting out of this. Gary Brady inside out toward right center, and he delivers. An RBI double, and the Marlins lead 2-0. Saved there. That was not a great swing. And now the red-hot Connor Norby. That seemed pretty close. A splitter elevated. Mize is over 50 pitches now. 55 incoming. And Connor Norby just drove one out again. The deep center field. Hotter than the Vegas desert, Connor Norby puts us up 4-0. If you throw him anything over the middle of the plate, he's such a dangerous hitter. Another Connor Norby home run. 4-0 Marlins. This is an unbelievable stretch for one of the stars we've developed in this series. Thank you, Baltimore, for the Trevor Rogers trade. Man, I wish Kyle Stowers was here right now. Inning over, but we lead by 4. I like the way Noble Myers come out and pitched. Hitting his spots. Not a lot of hard contact to this point. Nice pitch there to McCann, who does have 4 postseason homers. And he's out in front. It's strike 3. Actually falling behind in the count now. Kurtz 3-1. Meyer misses, and it's a walk. Otto Lopez, and a slider there. Change up on the edge, and it's strike 3. Field lines to center. Carter's there. We're through 3. Into the bullpen. A's desperate. They're going to throw everything they have at us to try and slow this offense down the rest of the way. And Robbie Snelling was pretty good in Game 4. If we check out his outings against us, well, that was apparently his only one. 3 2/3, 2 hits. That qualifies as slowing us down. Joe Brown just pops it up. Very shallow center field for Cruz. Again, right center field, Logan O'Hoppe. And another extra base hit for the Marlins. Doug Butcher in the air, it's line to left. Snelling strands Logan O'Hoppe. Waving is Glenn Bryan. Really impressed with Meyer. Just crossing the 40 pitch mark. Ryan's worked the count full. Myers 3-2 is pulled into left for a base hit. Ricky Berg swings over the top of a changeup. 1-2. Really good pitch there from Meyer. He waved at it. Strike 3 and safe at second. Nolan Jones got a good fastball to hit. 2 gone for the A's. He rolls it. Termarr Johnson, a difficult throw made easy by the Gold Glover. That was outstanding. Big cut there on the curve. Snelling has really done a good job so far. But can he get Hank Holder here with a 3-2 count? It is smoked past the third baseman, Bryan, and Holder has extras, opening up that elite 4-3 speed. And he's into second base. They leave Snelling in to face Gary Brady. And Brady unloads a deep drive to left. And it's gone. 429 feet. A 6-home run postseason as he hammers Robbie Snelling. Oh yeah, everything's fallen for us here. 6-0 Miami. Norby just unstoppable, and they are not taking Snelling out. He's basically out of energy. They've had other guys getting warm. I don't know why they're not making a change yet. That's a walk. Termarr Johnson, that was a pitch that should have been strike 3. A pair of doubles already for O'Hoppe. Now 2 on, 2 down. He hits one to left. It gets down. And we wave Norby. The Jones throw is not in time. It's 7-0. Now they take Snelling out. I don't know what they were waiting for. And a line drive from Walker Jenkins. Yeah, I still can't hit Eric Pardinho. They should just pitch him as much as they can. Brady with the bat and the glove here in the 5th inning as he gets Jacob Wilson. What a pitch. Meyer with one of the best outings we've seen from him. 2 strikes on McCann. Can he win the battle? That was a filthy slider he threw. Now a 3-2 changeup, and McCann ultimately comes out on top with a single. Kurtz with a drive to right, and that is out of here. A 2-run homer to get the A's in this game. Tried another slider, and this one caught a whole bunch of the plates. and the barrel of his bat. Grounded by Lopez, 2 gone. Joe Brown is there to spear the line drive, and Meyer makes it through the 5th. But he might be taken out after giving up that home run, as we'll let our bullpen sort it out from here. That curveball is still nasty. Butcher to right. Pardinho, over multiple outings now, has pitched 5 scoreless innings against us. Just the one guy I can't solve. Until Hank Holder connects and drives one to the moon. 512 feet for Hank Holder, giving us 8 runs on the day. I don't have to tell you that was a mistake pitch. Change up, left up. 512 feet, 106.5 on the exit velocity. Oh, man, I thought we could go back to back there. Brady's retired. We're through 5.5. Meyer gets us one more, bottom of the 6th, and then we bring in Chris Bubich. He's had a much cleaner postseason in comparison to last year. And he comes out and just misses the first 4 to Glenn Bryan, putting him on for Ricky Berg. Better pitch that time. I feel like I spent a lot of time in this series wanting to come across a player like Berg. Johnson converts the double play. That ball was thrown quick. He actually had to run a couple extra steps there to the second base bag. Ricky Berg not having a great World Series. Termarr Johnson, meanwhile, huge defensive upgrade. And right now, I think one of the stories is just everything that, went wrong for us last year. I made moves to correct. And look at the postseason Gary Brady's had. Look at what Termarr Johnson has done and how clean his defense has been. And then the late inning bullpen, Mason Miller has not blown a save. So those were my big moves in the offseason. I still can't believe the way the Johnson move played out. Like, it just couldn't have been better. Strike 3 on Norby. What a pitch. A clean 7th for Peguero. Nolan Jones left on left. It's off the high part of the wall. And he's going to get in with a leadoff double. Moving him over is Jacob Wilson. Good pitch. Just going to reach the seats. McCann behind. He goes down swinging. And we're going to make a move with 2 away and bring in a fresh arm. It is Robbie Parsons. Another new addition to the late inning bullpen this season. Kurtz already hit a home run. That was not a bad pitch to try to duplicate it. Not going to give him many fastballs. I'm glad he offered at that. Because now it's 1-2. A little bit off. And he chases. This time it's an inning ender. Logan O'Hoppe, have yourself a day. Down the line, on to second. He is in standing. That's a 4-hit day for a catcher who's also thrown out a base stealer today. His numbers have been phenomenal. And we are going to give Aaron Judge a chance in a possible World Series clinching game. Replacing Walker Jenkins, entering the game facing a lefty. That's jam, but can they get to it? Go back, go back, go back. That was such a long run. I thought it was going to drop in for a moment. Anticlimactic event there. Surprisingly hitless is Evan Carter, who has no World Series home runs. And looks to change that here. A drive to right center, and he's on the board. A 2-run homer from the superstar, Evan Carter. And it's our 3rd straight game with 10 runs. I knew we could get this offense going, and before this series began, as Holder singles up the middle, I looked at the ratings of their pitchers. I could tell like this would be a pretty good matchup for us. First 2 games weren't very good, but this 3-game stretch in Vegas has been amazing. Finally, the offense is playing to its potential in the postseason. Double-digit runs in 3 straight is pretty crazy. And we're going to go bottom 8. And we cannot let them claw back in this inning. 2 strikes on Otto Lopez. A player we've seen a lot of in the franchise. Got to make him put it in play here, 3-2. And he does. He's under it. Connor Norby comes in. And he makes the catch. We're going to make a move. It's going to be Christian Scott coming into the game now. Low average against, but fairly high ERA. Great splitter starting off field. Ahead 0-2. He got him on a fastball. 97. Another swing and miss. Cruz, 1-2. Somehow took that splitter. I couldn't. 3-2. He pulled it right to Joe Brown. The play is made, and we are headed to the 9th inning. In Game 5, a chance to clinch the ultimate goal of winning a World Series. What a franchise, everybody. And what a World Series for Connor Norby. 11 for 25 homers. One of the streakiest players we've seen in the franchise. What a time to get hot. And how big? I mean, the biggest home run he's ever hit was in the 9th inning of Game 4. To get us that insurance. Just imagine them evening the series. 2 apiece. That would have been deflating. Norby to the gap. And another hit. He's going to make the trip back to first base. 12 for 21. 12 World Series hits now. And we're going to make a move here with Termarr Johnson. I'd like to get Angel Martinez in the game. He was our deadline acquisition, a utility player who would give us the versatility on the bench to allow us to go get Aaron Judge. I don't think I've ever hit with him. I think this is the first time. It's into center field, got jammed. He's out. Joe Brown, how's one more sound? Deep to center, it's gone. And what a great run it's been for Joe Brown, our homegrown, drafted, and developed first baseman. A player I really targeted as a guy who might not have the highest ceiling, but could absolutely be a good bat for us. And he has been now for a while. He was amazing his rookie season. Took a step back, but rebounded. He's had a couple extremely strong seasons. We lead by 10. We're going to continue to empty the bench. There's nothing more we could ask of Logan O'Hoppe, and we're going to bring in Joe Mack, the backup catcher, with a 10-run advantage here in the 9th. Bad chase on the slider. Mack is retired, but he'll catch the bottom half of the 9th inning. Everybody on the bench is going to get a chance to hit now as P.J. Morlando is up. And Morlando shoots it down the left field line, and he's going to have a hit, hustling his way towards second and in with a double. And Doug Butcher singles into center. Cruz will throw home. Morlando, he's out on a great play. And we will head to the bottom of the ninth here in World Series Game 5. Here is Mason Miller. A 10-run cushion handed off to one of the best closers in baseball. What a season, what a team, what a journey to get here. Morlando gloves the first out. You think about us, this has been 4 years now in the making. We lost Game 7s in the NLCS twice, lost Game 7 of the World Series. Our window has been open for 4 years. And now we're 2 outs away from finally cashing in. The A's, meanwhile, after their long rebuild, are now popping up as a surprising World Series team. You know, a lot of their players are still low 80s, but young and should continue to get better. But it is teams at 2 different parts of their rebuild. Ricky Berg to right center. Carter's going to get under and get the second out. And we're 1 away, everybody, from a title in Miami. Nolan Jones will bat. 12-2 Marlins. It's a base hit to right field. We aren't done yet. Jacob Wilson popped it up. Joe Mack is under. The Miami Marlins are World Series champions. We have finally won the title, and the Marlins rebuild is complete. We've done it with 3 offensive masterpieces here in Las Vegas to give us a 4-1 World Series win. What a run. It's been a fantastic handful of months building the team this year. What a fun franchise. So glad I picked Miami. And, I mean, this is what franchise is all about. You know, getting so attached to a team, piecing it together year by year. And even though we suffered a lot of heartbreaking losses, coming back, making corrections, and we get the job done. It's a championship for the Marlins. In 2032, we finally get the job done. And we did it with what is honestly a super team. This is an unbelievable team that we've built. And this series has been probably the most fun I've ever had playing MLB The Show. The last 3 years, I have dedicated far more time to this game and playing franchise, and I've loved it. I truly love getting on this game to play these franchises, and it's very rewarding to end up with a championship after all the time invested. You know, on my end, I haven't done much else in the game, so I think my play count here is around a little over 300 hours since March, and I've really just spent all of that on this team. 5 home runs. I mean, the bats came to party here in Las Vegas. Pitching was very good, too. This was a very clean outing. We only had 1 bad, stretch, and that was in Game 4 late, trying to close it out. And what a way to get it done for all the legends of this franchise, and there are many. This feels like one of the best teams in any game that I've constructed. And, this team was built using so many different, building blocks. You've had Hank Holder as the the #1 pick, homegrown superstar who, remember, skipped the minor leagues entirely. Probably the only player I'll ever do it with, unless I come across another like 85 or 84 overall player on day one who's just so complete. He's the only player I've ever done that with. 146 home runs, 915 games, still another 4 years under contract with us. I will be going through some off seasons to continue to manage. We'll see how the rest of it goes, but it's so much easier knowing now we have the title. That goal is complete. But it will be fun to see like where Hank Holder's career ultimately ends up. Like, he's only 23 years old. He could play another 15 years if he wants to. But he was the homegrown superstar. You've got Evan Carter, a player I traded for when he was an 80 overall with high potential, hoping we could see that big breakout. And I mean, he was playing really well those final, that year and a half in Texas, and then we acquired him, and the meteoric rise just continued. He became an even better player, and we turned him into a megastar. That's also kind of the blueprint I've been trying to do with Walker Jenkins. I thought we could see something Evan Carter-like this year. It didn't happen ultimately, but he's a good player. You got Connor Norby, a player who came over in a trade. He was, in the starting lineup. First game we ever played in this franchise. And I wasn't sure if he would stick around into the peak of this rebuild. It looked like there, if you look at the numbers prior to 2028, he was looking pretty replaceable. It had been 3 years where he wasn't even hitting 230, couldn't reach 300 on base. As the level of talent gets better, you can easily push a guy like that off the roster until he finally turns the corner. 2028, he wasn't a silver slugger that year, but was the following. Obviously, 2028 was a good enough year where you continue to see where this goes as he approaches free agency. Then he becomes a player who gets a contract from us. So the Connor Norby story is another special one. I've made a lot of trades in this series. Termarr Johnson acquired via trade. Logan O'Hoppe acquired via trade. You got Doug Butcher, the falling star in the draft, who was projected to go #1 and slipped all the way to us. I forget where we picked that year, but I didn't expect to have a chance. And I knew that would be our DH of the future. I wanted Doug Butcher. He got hurt his first year. It slowed his development. But then he comes back healthy and absolutely tears up the major leagues. And actually, his overall is now above his potential, I want to say. 84 sounds like the number he had. I'm curious if his potential has changed. It's still an 84. How often can you get a guy to go above his potential? Like, it just flat out rarely happens. Gary Brady just acquired via trade, and when you have all this budget and overall the years, all these prospects, now it's time to make a move where you're clearly giving up a ton for a guy you might only have for one season, but if you can win it all, that's why you make those moves. What a run for Gary Brady in the postseason. His regular season was good, not great. He started off with a very cold month. Joe Brown was a drafted and developed player, second draft of the series, so taken after Hank Holder. Can't forget about all the pitching, too. I basically reconstructed a whole new rotation. When I took this team over, their strength was like pitching prospects and having Yuri Perez. Perez just didn't work out for us long term. And ultimately, the only guy that sticks around to become part of the rotation is Noble Meyer, who I thought was, one of a handful of players who would have a chance. And he's stuck around and been a mainstay now in the rotation for a 4-season period. Still a couple years of team control, it appears. But I made a lot more moves in free agency and traded for Freddie Peralta. That move, I think, can now be called a success. Kyle Harrison, a player who ended our season when he was with the Giants, got him in free agency. He goes and wins a Cy Young, nearly gets a second one under his belt. Really didn't think that was going to be, the level of play we'd get from him. Shane Baz, fit that kind of archetype I wanted to go after with the higher hit per 9. It was a weak rating in the organization, so I targeted him, got him, and now in the last year of his contract, he gets a ring. Spencer Schwellenbach, take him away from the Braves. Anytime you can find one of these guys in free agency who just has a long track record of consistency, you gotta add him. And maybe now he's starting to decline a little bit, but the rotation's so deep that even a step back when he's your 4 is easily doable. Got the bullpen here. Soriano has stuck through a lot of years, and in those early seasons in the franchise, I was so ready to move on from him. 2025 wasn't good. 2026, a little bit better. It seemed like his numbers were good, but every time I'd pitch with him, it'd be a bad outing. It took me a while to figure out how to pitch with him, I guess. And now he's been here the entire duration of the series. Look at the ratings, too. The hit per 9 is elite. Chris Bubich comes over. I trade for Parsons. Go get Mason Miller. Yeah, the bullpen changed a lot because of all the meltdowns we had. Some really bad postseasons that forced me to make moves. Kenny Norris and Brian Ariano are the 2 draft picks of mine that end up making a big impact. Ariano drafted to be that closer of the future. Kenny Norris drafted to be a lefty, strikeout, flamethrower, and he's a roller coaster ride. But when he's like your 7th best guy or 8th best guy, you can usually live with that. But yeah, he's a scary player. Pitching with him, and if you ever had to hit him, I'm sure it's just as scary. Jorge Vizcaíno. I made him one of our big first-round picks to eventually join the rotation. And when I manage this team going into the next year, and you look at Peralta as a free agent, Baz as a free agent, Vizcaíno's likely moving into the rotation, and I'd be willing to take some of that money dedicated to pitching and shift it maybe over to a guy like Gary Brady. So my time managing this team is not over. But now I won't be needing to play through the entirety of a playoff run of the World Series. I can really just, manage the team until I don't want to anymore and just see what's next. Because the timeline for these players can be so long. I mean, in a lot of series where I'd be in season 8 with a homegrown star like Hank Holder, he'd be on the back half of his prime, but it's baseball. So he would be, in real life, Hank Holder would probably get a 15-year contract, sometime in the next couple of years. So I count 5 players on our 26-man World Series roster who were in the organization when the series began. Joe Mack and P.J. Morlando included there, Norby, Noble Meyer, and George Soriano. All right, let's check on some awards here, and no surprise, the World Series MVP is the red-hot Connor Norby, hitting .571 with 5 home runs. What a player. This was a down season for him, too. He really took a huge step back, but the postseason was unbelievable. Back-to-back 4-hit games. This is probably one of the best 3-game periods of hitting I've ever had in this series. A handful of episodes ago, I had showed off the Connor Norby autographed card I have, and now that's going to be a little bit more special with him getting the World Series MVP for us in this franchise. The postseason MVP goes to Gary Brady. All around, he was phenomenal at the same time. That move worked. I was able to build this super team because of the massive budget we grew over the years. Be interesting to see if it gets difficult, as I continue to manage this team and have to make some decisions on who stays, who goes. But now that the goal is complete, we have the World Series. Takes all that pressure away. And there's our 5-year history. Took 4 years of struggling before we could build a playoff team that suddenly broke out with 102 wins. And we just keep, piecing it together, come close, get denied. But we get back to the World Series the second straight year, and we are now champions. Thank you all so much for supporting the channels and me as a creator. Allowing me to do this every day is an amazing gift y'all have given me. I hope you've enjoyed the Marlins franchise. We're not quite done yet, but we have now reached our goal, and I will be working on getting us to the true finish line so I can move on to some other projects and then take a little break before we look ahead to another franchise on MLB The Show next year. I know that no matter what I do, though, in the future, it'll be very difficult to build a team that rivals these Miami Marlins. Thank you all for watching. That's it for me today. The Marlins are champions at last. And I will see you all next time. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. And have a great day.